Okay, I figured it out.
If you're watching live and you'd like to join the chat, head to irc.chatrealm.net. Hi, I'm Tom Merritt. Welcome to our live broadcast. Hey, so we were just talking before I went live about things that make you feel old, and here's one that makes me feel old. I was interviewing someone on Sword and Laser with Veronica, and the person we were interviewing, she knows who she is, said, yeah, so when I was, I think high school, my memory says junior high, but it was probably high school. She's like, so I'd use Wikipedia to look up things for my papers. And I'm like,
what?
Huh? You had Wikipedia when you're, oh. Okay.
Wait, not World Book?
Yeah, right? No, I had the World Book too.
Yeah, exactly. I had the Childcraft edition.
We had the Childcraft annuals and the Childcraft and the World Book. We did not have the Encyclopedia Britannica.
No, I couldn't afford those.
No,
yeah.
That was too pricey. Could use those at school if I wanted, but
it's interesting. Every in high school and junior high, we were limited to only one or two encyclopedic references. Everything else had to be.
Oh, shoot, man. I remember papers. I would just copy the first paragraph of the encyclopedia article. It's horrible.
It's like you can only use one. Oh, I remember.
That's how I learned to paraphrase.
What's our term paper? It's like, you can only use one encyclopedia reference. It's like, all right. I
reference the whole thing.
Yeah, and then I just, it was easy because I picked the subject like whales. Because I was really big into whales for some reason in junior high. They were big. I think it's because they were huge, right? They're large animals, like dinosaurs, and so there were no shortage of books. But when I had one of my urban studies class, I had to research particular aspects of city development, and there are absolutely no books within the past 30 years that any library kept. Because there were journals, but they were usually sold to architects or planning commissions or whatever, but no libraries had them, so you had to rely on encyclopedias. It was so annoying. So annoying.
All right. Well, let's get the show out of the way so we can start complaining about reference sources again.
It
sounds like I'm being a jerk, but I actually would I'm tempted to be like, yeah, and another thing. All right. Ready to go?
Yes, sir.
I just looked up value for value in the dictionary, and there's a picture of me because I went to dailytechnewsshow.com/support and gave a nickel a day. There's all kinds of ways for you to show the love at dailytechnewsshow.com/support. I can't guarantee what picture they'll use for you. When was I in France?
This is the Daily Tech News for Wednesday, June 8th, 2016. I'm Tom Merritt. Joining me today, Lamarr Wilson, because Scott Johnson's going to be on the show Friday because Darren Kitchen's still recovering from his trip to Australia. Thank you, Lamarr Wilson, for stepping in on Wednesday. It's awesome to have you back.
I am so glad. It's been years, Tom. Years.
I think you were on last month, man.
Days, Tom. It's been days.
It's been months.
Good to see you.
It's been months. No, seriously, it's good to see you. We're going to talk some old man talk about how to drive safely. There's some studies about, it's not safe to drive a car and talk even hands-free. And yet, we know it's okay. All of you are doing it anyway. So we're going to talk about the research and why it's a bad idea and why we all insist on doing it anyway. Mark Zuckerberg's holding a Q&A on Facebook Live June 14th. Big news hitting the wires right now. But let's talk about some actual other news in the top stories. Apple's Phil Schiller sat down with select publications to detail upcoming changes to Apple's App Store. Starting this autumn, all apps will be allowed to sell subscriptions. It was restricted to certain categories before. Now everybody can sell subscriptions, including subscriptions that cover multiple apps. If you've got a suite, you can say, pay $15 a year and you get access to all my apps. That starts That starts in the autumn. Starting June 13th, Apple's cut of subscriptions will drop to 15% from 30%, after the first year. So Apple still takes 30% for a year, but if the subscriber stays subscribed, Apple drops it to 15%. Starting in beta next Monday, Apple will sell developer ads in search results pages in the app stores. 1 ad per page of results, and the ad is basically just very similar to an app listing. Only developers can buy them, so you're not going to see Viagra or anything like that, unless Viagra has an app, which they might. Installed apps will no longer show in charts and featured pages. So if you've installed an app and you're looking for stuff, you won't keep seeing things you've already installed. And the categories tab is coming back. Really interesting, Lamarr, all of these announcements, but also that Phil Schiller told the Verge and others these things ahead of WWDC, which is coming up Monday.
Yeah, I found that interesting. They're kind of breaking their protocol here. So I had a question here, and I know the answer to a couple, but just for the audience. So when they say subscriptions, we're looking at things like HBO Now, possibly Netflix, things like that.
That's what we have now, but I guess what they're saying you could do is say, hey, you want to play this game? It's $5 a year, or even like a productivity suite, like Office 365. Microsoft could sell those subscriptions in the App Store. Any app, basically any app, you could say, instead of selling it for 99 cents, you're just renting it on an ongoing basis.
I think the game one is most interesting. I'm trying to see how they would do a subscription for that. Would that start replacing some of the pay to win type of games that are out there?
It could.
Or that's a really interesting model for games.
And I use it in language courses where I pay I get a free app, and then I pay a subscription to get access to multiple courses. Memrise does that. So it is interesting. This also comes on the heels of Jeff Bezos saying he doesn't want to give the Amazon Video app to iOS on Apple TV because of the cut. I wonder if I don't think this is enough to change his mind, because he still is going to have to give up 30% of subscriptions for the first year.
Right.
So
yeah, I don't think it's ever going to come to the Apple TV.
Google's platform versions page shows that Android Marshmallow has now reached 10.1% of adoption. That's double digits 8 months after release. It was the fastest growing version of Android 2, increasing 2.6 percentage points since May. Marshmallow is now the 3rd most popular Android distribution behind Lollipop and KitKat. This is one of those stats, Lamarr, where people are going to use it to make their case whether they think Android is too fragmented or not fragmented.
Exactly, because I was about to jump in there and say, why don't more people? Why is it only 10%? I was going to be that guy. Why is adoption so slow? And there's various reasons for that. Some people just don't update their phones. They're comfortable with what they have, and they just don't do it.
And some manufacturers take a long time. Remember, Android worldwide is 90+% of the market. So there are loads of manufacturers out there just not bothering to add even Lollipop, much less Marshmallow. So that's part of it. I am spoiled, right? I have a Nexus 9, so I'm used to, like, as soon as Marshmallow was out, I had the notification like you can put it on right now, and it was easy. Right. But it isn't as easy for a lot of other people.
Yep. So they should all just switch to. Okay, I won't say that.
They should all switch to Ubuntu phones. I know that's what you were going to say.
That was exactly it.
The U.S. FAA warned pilots that experiments at the Naval Air Weapons Center in the Mojave Desert could affect planes' GPS in the area. The notice to airmen, or NOTAM, only to interference testing, pretty descriptive. No other details. I mean, it's a military test. What do you expect? The test began June 7th and affects a wider area the higher it gets. They particularly, I guess maybe this plane is more susceptible to the interference, they particularly warned Embraer Phenom 300 business jets to avoid the area on the 6 dates of testing coming up in June between the hours of 9:30 a.m. and 3 p.m. If you look at the map that's on this Engadget story, the area gets wider as it goes up, like I said. At 40,000 feet, the affected area stretches from the California-Oregon border, south to Mexico, east into Utah, and then a big amount way out over the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, I did some extensive research on this before the show started, and after looking at all the algorithms and looking at the longitude, latitude, I've just determined that the answer is aliens.
Yeah, they've got a crashed ship. Well, or they're preventing aliens from landing potentially.
Yeah. There's something else going on there. I am that person as well.
Yeah,
I'm the alien person.
It's obvious that they're doing some kind of GPS blocking. Like, okay, if we're in a battlefield and we want to jam the other side's GPS, how do we do that? I guess they're imagining an enemy filling the sky with Embraer Phenom 300s or something. But it's a little bit crazy to think that these planes at 40,000 feet, that's like not half. That's like a third of the United States that's covered. They
can block out. Yeah, that's really crazy.
Yeah. You know what? I should have emailed Henry or Joe or one of the pilots in the audience, but I'm sure they'll weigh in on this. How do you fly through this? I know that you don't rely entirely on GPS to get from one point to another. There's obviously all kinds of things with air traffic control and towers, etc. But I'd be curious.
You just eyeball it. It's fine.
Yeah, you think that's all it is? Just look at the sun. You have a sextant. You're just like...
There you go.
Yeah. Jalopnik noticed that dozens of U.S. Lexus owners were complaining on Twitter about constant reboots, blank screens, and the now starting to get famous purple flashes on their Lexus in-dash entertainment systems. It seems like models 2014 and newer seem to have the issues. They affect the navigation system, the sound system, and temperature control. At least that's what people are reporting. Lexus is investigating. They think it might be caused by satellite communications and they're advising the owners to head to the dealer where they'll just reset the GPS, and that seems to fix it for the time being.
Aliens.
It's probably aliens, right? I mean, these two stories are not back-to-back by coincidence.
When I saw you did that, I said, I see where Tom is going with this. He secretly believes what I believe.
The purple flashes.
Satellite communications? It seemed like we get further advanced and we have more and more problems that come up with these cars. I long for the dumb car again. Just like the dumb TVs are starting to come back.
In all seriousness, like, it is disturbing that there could be an over-the-air update to your car that would just bring down navigation.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And as we have more, this is where the people who are like, told you, driverless cars, it's going to be dangerous. Like, yeah, you got to make sure that you don't do this sort of thing when the car's driving is involved. That's going to have to be a different update system. Have to be better tested because you don't want to do that. Still, leave it to Lexus to have a royal purple screen of death. Blue just isn't good enough. Slack is opening up voice call functionality to all users. Are you one of the Slack devotees, Lamarr?
I have never used this app.
We're gonna take care of this after this.
We talked about this last show. Yeah, I haven't used it. I don't know why.
You gotta join the Slack cult, man. It's where the aliens communicate with us. Slack is opening a voice call functionality to users, so a telephone icon will show up in the desktop client, or if you're on mobile, it'll be one of the drop-down menu items. You could touch it, communicate by voice with anyone in your Slack. If you're on one of the paying user plans, you can do group calls for anybody on your team. It is. Go ahead and make fun of Slack users like me for being like, ooh, now we can have voice calls.
I mean, you said it, so I don't have to. Because I'm pretty sure my phone can kind of do that already, but yeah.
Yeah, and what it is for is like, I'm having a conversation with somebody on Slack and I realize that, talking about this in real time would be better. So instead of saying, hey, can I call you, reaching over, picking up the phone, launching Skype, whatever, I'll be able to just touch a button. So it is a nice function. It is, I get it. People are going a little crazy over the fact like, oh my gosh, I can make calls on Slack. That's how they sound.
I think that's you. I think you're very defensive about this app.
No, I'm not. I don't know what you mean. Okay. Hold on, let me ask my buddies in Slack if they think I'm being too defensive. Developers at Tendigi created a homemade iPhone case that lets you run Android on an iPhone. This may be my favorite story of the day. Nick Lee started out by testing this with a Nexus 5. So he took a Nexus 5, connected it by cable to the iPhone to see if he could develop tools that would transmit the Android device's screen to the iPhone. So you'd have an app running on the iPhone that would essentially like you're VNCing the Android. And then send the touch input from the iPhone back to the Android device. Lee then took it a step further because honestly, we're like, oh, okay, so I guess you're VNCing an Android. That's a neat trick. He created an Android development board, installed Android, the open version of Android on it, 3D printed an enclosure to house it in that was in the shape of an iPhone case so that he could put the iPhone in the case, launch the app on the iPhone, and be running Android on an iPhone.
Okay, so I'm looking at the screen now for the video viewer. So the Android phone is underneath that.
No, the Android phone is in the case. I mean, it's not really an Android phone, I guess. It's just a development board, but it's in that little red case. Development board.
Okay. So wow, that is interesting.
Yeah. And you can see where it's connected to the lightning port at the bottom. That's how it's sending its actions back and forth. These are the folks, these are the same design studio that put Windows 95 on an Apple Watch, by the way.
And what is the purpose? Just to say they can do it?
The purpose is for Tendigi to be able to say, hey, we're those cool people who put Windows 95 on an Apple Watch and created that. It is definitely not a practical situation. It is oh, look at this crazy thing I did. I'm running Android, but I'm on an iPhone. I'm not really running Android on an iPhone, but it kind of looks like I am, and it's smooth. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's the practical use.
It is cool.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not something they're going to sell or anything. It's just
I don't
it's just
think
something
so. I wish they. Or though he might have. I don't recall now whether he had made the plans open source because you could just 3D print it.
Okay. So I got to get a 3D printer. My audience keeps telling me to get one.
Yeah. You could 3D print all kinds
I'll borrow yours. I know you have like 2 or 3 at there.
You could, instead of out of the boxes, you could do out of the printers.
They'll kill my unboxing business and create a new thing though.
Well, you could just watch the printer print it slowly over 6 hours. With YouTube Red now, you want to have longer videos, right?
Yeah, you want to have that watch time going.
Yeah, totally.
So, I'm doing it.
Finally, a design patent from Magic Leap shows a helmet with slits to view the real world that doesn't look too far different from the VR headsets we have now, or kind of similar to the Microsoft HoloLens. Has a helmet-like covering for the back of your head, then a strap that goes from the back to the front of your head, where it attaches to a shield-like mask over the eyes. Some people say it looks like Luke Skywalker's training helmet. The patent describes, quote, projecting images to a waveguide through micro projectors for augmented or virtual reality, and providing variable depth planes through arrays of reflectors.
First of all, I thought this said leapfrog when I first read it, and I laughed really hard. And I realized it's not a children's, the
leap pad,
children's education,
right?
Because I don't remember what Magic Leap did before. They sound familiar though.
They haven't done anything yet. They sound familiar because for years they've been about to come out with this augmented reality headset. Grant, this is a patent design. You should never look at patent designs and think you have any insight into what the product is going to actually look like. But this is the only look without an NDA that we have seen at anything even remotely similar to Magic Leap hardware. And everybody involved in Magic Leap, not just the investors, but the journalists who've been allowed to see some of the technology, all go crazy about how great they think it is.
Oh. All right. Well, at least they've drawn something that they put something on paper. That's good for getting millions and millions of dollars from investors.
So here's the disappointing thing, though. When I first heard of Magic Leap, they talked about projecting the augmented reality onto my eyes, and I thought, well, this is going to be great. Like, I won't have to wear any kind of headset. It'll just be like a little pair of glasses or something, really unobtrusive. Oh, okay. This makes it look like, wow, okay, I'm definitely going to be wearing a full-on headset.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to walk around with that.
Yeah, would you walk around with that on? And like just to look at the world?
Now, Tom, you know me very well. You know I would. I would just for the laughs. Just for the views on YouTube. Why not?
Right. Okay. So you're the wrong person to ask.
Exactly.
Or the right person to ask, because that is the answer.
I walked around with my Oculus and it's not even turned on. I just walk around with it on my head. I crashed a lot, but
yeah, I just I think I'll put mine on too while I'm at it. Just
for
the rest.
So you got yours right there.
Just put that. Yeah. That's
just
convenient, right?
Leave it at the whole show, just like that.
Yeah, it's so
Tom Merritt, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Tom Merritt.
That was not worth the visual aid. Thanks to everybody who submitted things we used from our subreddit. Get in there and vote. dailytechnewsshow.reddit.com. Let us know what you want us to talk about. It definitely helps us put together our lineup every day. Big thanks to everybody who votes and the people who submit, like They Made That, and Cosmo Harley, and Another J. Martin, Abituela Condolce, Steve I.O., TM204, Skyboard 13, and more. Get into the subreddit, dailytechnewsshow.reddit.com, and that is a look at the top stories.
Time to get old.
A study from the University of Sussex has found that hands-free conversations caused drivers to react just less than a second longer than drivers not participating in a conversation. The study tested 20 males and 40 females. They divided them into groups, not by gender, just divided them into groups, doing simulated driving situations. One group just did the driving. The other group was conversing with a male voice from a loudspeaker 3 feet away. To simulate the idea that you're talking to someone, but you can't see them. They're not seeing the same thing that you are. They're not in the car with you. Now, previous studies have found that phone conversations in particular are more distracting than conversations with a passenger or listening to the radio. So I went back and looked, because I remember even in the Buzz Out Loud days, we were talking about this. Mythbusters did this as an episode in August 2015. They found that of 15 drivers that were talking hands-free, 1 passed a driver's test, and 8 of them crashed. It was in a simulation, so nobody was hurt. A AAA study with the University of Utah in June 2013 was meant to measure cognitive distraction. This wasn't measuring your performance while driving. They were measuring how distracting things are. They found that cell phone use was about as distracting as a passenger in the car with you, less distracting than speech to text, where you're trying to compose like a text message while talking, but definitely more distracting than the radio. 2009 review of literature in the Journal of Safety Research found that talking on the phone has a negative impact on performance, especially in detecting and identifying events. Didn't matter whether it was hands-free or not. A 2006 study from the University of Utah of 41 adults found that drunk drivers performed better than people talking on the phone, even hands-free. That result has been repeated by other people, and a 2013 study in Touro University found them to be at least equal. So you could say that talking hands-free on a phone is like driving drunk, and the research would bear you out. Lamarr,
Wow.
We all still do it. All the pushes were for hands-free usage of a phone because everybody wants to still be able to talk on their phone in the car.
Yeah, I mean, I know I use it, but it's interesting because when we use it, or if you see other people using it, I can see where the distraction comes from, because I don't know about you, but I know I'm like yelling in this picture or like directing my face to it as if I need to get closer and talk to it, and that is clearly not keeping me 100% focused on where I'm supposed to be. So, I mean, I don't disagree with this. I don't know what the solution is for it, because, you know, our people, I mean, remember when they said no texting, I have been in a passenger in cars where people will pull out their phone and start doing this one, and I'm like, excuse me.
Yeah,
and,
right.
You know, it's like, can you put that away? And darn near had a crash because they thought they were okay with doing that. So, if we
My
still
life
see
on the line. Stop that.
Yeah, we still see people doing that. I don't know what the answer to this is. I know before the show we were talking about, driverless cars. Yeah, for our generation, I think we'll be okay with it. But we were joking with Roger, with the younger generation even tolerate that because they want to have the power in their hands of independence and driving their own car and doing what they want to do.
Yeah, and maybe it'll go the other way. Maybe they'll grow up with driverless cars, and so they'll just be like, oh yeah, that's the way. You'd be stupid to drive yourself on the highway. Taking control of a car is for recreational use only. Like maybe that's what it'll end up being. But yeah, maybe that's the only solution here is driverless cars, because I mean, there's a study from the National Safety Council that shows that brain activity for moving images decreases by 1/3 when listening to someone talking on the phone. And this is one of their examples from the study. asking, where did you leave the blue file? The driver then concentrates on an area 4 times smaller than normal. This is that Sussex study that just came out. Imagining the room where they left the file instead of checking for hazards in front of them. So you may say, like, well, wait a minute. Why is it? Okay, I get that radio isn't as distracting because you can tune that out. But what about the passenger next to you? Yeah, they are as distracting in some of these studies as a cell phone conversation, but the passenger wants to live because they're in the car with you. So they have a vested interest in not distracting you when it looks like the driver needs to pay attention. Person on a cell phone can't see any of that stuff.
Exactly. So when I hear all this, it just, again, I started thinking, well, what can we do? What's the answer? But I saw one quote in an article that really brought it home, and it says, "How important is any phone conversation that lives are lost?" Now, I mean, that's something we just keep needing to beat in our heads, because if we're being realistic, no one stares at the street while they're driving the whole time.
Right.
I mean, we're either looking at the navigation, or we're talking with someone, or we're picking up our drink. We're going to be distracted. But if there's a study coming out saying that this is a serious problem, are we willing to wait for our conversations, before we take the chance of killing someone?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the problem. We're really bad at risk assessment, right? It doesn't happen to us.
That's it.
We have like 3 phone calls while we're driving, and we're like, hey, I didn't have any wrecks. I'm fine. So I must be better at this than all those people in the studies. And the fact is, no. Yeah. It's not like having a phone conversation is immediately going to lead to a crash. It just increases your risk. So the way I try to think about it is, what are the behaviors that are increasing my risks, and how do I minimize those? Not having a phone conversation in the car is definitely one of them. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to be 100% honest. I have to take my dog to the vet at 3:45 this afternoon. I have a phone call with a publisher at 4:30. I will probably still be in the car at 4:30. And so I'm going to have to face that question of, do I have them on the phone while I'm finishing the ride? Like, it's an uncomfortable truth, because we all spend so much time in our cars.
Yeah. I mean, and listen, you think about, like, on a serious note, you think about mothers who have or fathers who have their kids in the back. Talk about a distraction. If they start hollering, I've seen them driving that they will turn around and that is seriously, dangerous. But like, at what point do we? I mean, what can be done? I think either driverless, or we all just start using Uber. I don't, because people are going to be people. I'm being the devil's advocate there. I want them to stop, but people won't even stop texting.
I think, so what I would say to folks is, I don't know that the hands-free laws have done much. These studies show that, well, if you're talking hands-free, you're probably not any safer. So we've made it the law that you have to be hands-free, but that doesn't seem to have changed anything. And there's mixed results on whether there are more or fewer traffic accidents. But the one stat that I could find for the National Safety Council is 26% of crashes involve cell phone use. And it's been getting higher over
significant
time. Yeah.
Wow.
So you make the decision. Don't rely on the law. Make the decision yourself. Should you be doing this? Is it worth adding another risk? Because you have a risk already in, the person on the side flipping the sign, and the guy who's about to cut you off. There's so many distractions that are already there that you can't avoid. Maybe you have kids in the back and you've got to take them to school. You can't not do that. So why add another distraction on top of that?
Good point. And did we sound old enough there? Did we really
I don't
get
know.
the
I think we should have got more a little crotchetier. Also, just don't drive. Stay off the roads. Just leave it to me and Lamarr.
Get off my lawn.
We're the only one. Stop driving on my lawn while you're on your phone.
Which will be the result. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, let us know. I mean, we know. Okay, so Lamarr, we know. People are like, well, let's make it the law that you shouldn't use your phone in the car at all. I don't think anybody's going to go for that. But that's one response. The other is you as a person should just commit to yourself. I'm not going to do this. That's one response. Is there anything else? Are we missing? Give us an email.
Yeah, I definitely want to hear more suggestions. Even if I'm not in the show, I would love to hear them the next day, because it's I don't have any other solution.
Yeah.
Any ideas?
Feedback at dailytechnewsshow.com. Our pick of the day comes from our own Jenny Josephson. She writes in with a simple and free piece of transcription software for short web videos that recently saved her bacon. She says, while it doesn't transcribe the speech to text for you, it does make it really easy to take a video transcript and put it in the correct format for Facebook and other videos for Mac and Windows. It's called Aegisub. I don't know if it's Aegisub or Aegisub, but it's AEGISUB.org. It's a free cross-platform open source tool for creating and modifying subtitles. So, like she said, you've got to have the transcript, but once you do, you can use this to sync it up with the right points in the video.
Oh, that is actually really cool. That's kind of like my alley, even though I don't do transcription. I let Google do it, which is horrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is really cool.
Windows OS 10 and Unix versions. Go check it out. AEGISUB.org. Thank you, Jenny. Hey, folks, send your picks to us as well. Feedback at dailytechnewsshow.com. You can find more picks at dailytechnewsshow.com/picks. Lots of messages. We talked yesterday about bendable and foldable screens. Jeff and Micah from Dallas both agreed that they had a different reason for wanting these than Patrick and I mentioned. Jeff says, I was so excited when I saw the title of yesterday's episode because I've been yearning for the flexible phone, but I hadn't even considered the use cases you guys discussed. My own interest is much more simple. No more cracked screens. So yeah.
Hey, yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
I've never cracked my screen ever though.
Oh man, really? You just said that out loud.
Yeah. So I'm one of those people that don't have to worry about it. I can just do whatever with my phone because it doesn't crack.
Right. And then Paul in Reading, Pennsylvania said the way I see a flexible screen, using a phone hands-free, where the phone is more of an arm brace that covers the forearm, like Wonder Woman style, so that it can be portable, but when you need a tablet device, you can take it off, roll it out on a flat surface. One of the benefits for this form factor is sensors could be added to the back to measure your blood pressure, oxygen level, and temperature.
I'm all for that.
I actually I hadn't thought of this one. Paul blew my mind. I want the armband phone. I'm
really about Wonder Woman on my body anyway. So
sure, who isn't?
That didn't sound right, but you know what I mean.
I think I know what you meant. Yeah.
Okay.
In a cosplay sense. No, in like just being able to have that thing just on there. It's the best of a watch, but then you can pull it off and use it as a phone. Maybe you could even extend it out and make it a tablet. I love that. Oh, Leela is a much better example, Tinvec points out. Leela from Futurama. Steve from Columbus, Ohio says, in addition to unique passwords per site, two-factor, two-step verification, and LastPass, when I can, I do the following. For sites that use an email address as a login ID, I make the address unique, taking advantage of the plus symbol that Gmail allows you to use an address. So an email address that is fullname@gmail.com can become fullname plus site unique at gmail.com. Even if my email and password leak from another site, not only is my password unique, but my login is unique too. So in other words, if they get his email, even if they're like, well, we see the plus, let's just take that off, he hasn't used that as the login ID at other sites.
That is a really good point.
Yeah.
I used that. I mean, Yahoo had that for a while too. I don't know if they still do, but that unique name, and maybe I should start using that. That's a really good point.
My only problem would be I'd forget how to log in because I'd forget.
Yeah, and I got to change my password from Baba Data or something. Whatever. I forgot what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. And then for those security questions where we said just don't answer them honestly, the ones that are like, what high school did you go to? Who's your first pet? All of that stuff. Thinness says, I answer them based on my backstory from my Dungeons and Dragons character. He said, now this will not work for everyone, but the basis is solid. You could base your security question answers on a good friend, a person you dislike, just nothing rather than your own identity.
That's okay. That's really funny. Yeah. I could definitely see that.
I actually love the idea of coming up with a character that you use for your security questions that you don't tell anyone about, so that no one can ever guess them.
No one knows.
Yeah.
I love that.
So Marlon, the guy from Trinidad, was noticing that yesterday we mentioned that Twitter got a material design makeover for Android, and fans got really excited. He says, now I know you know why we get excited, but I wanted to quickly share the reasons for other iOS users like Scott who may not know, and also why Twitter getting material design was such a big deal in the first place. Android apps have a history of getting really crappy ports of iOS apps that didn't take into consideration how Android operates. When material design launched, suddenly we had apps that looked great and worked fantastic, and devs who switched to material design usually saw an uptick in usage and downloads. Pair that with the fact that Twitter has always been horrible on Android, and superstar Android developer and creator of the acclaimed Twitter client Falcon Pro, Joaquim Vergés, was hired by Twitter and is behind the redesign, and you can see why it's a big deal.
Okay, I have not played with material design, but I have been on Android before, and it always had crappy ports. So if it's better, serious applause for that.
Yeah,
one.
and I feel like it's been getting better. So this design is only going to notch it up even farther.
Great.
Then yesterday, Patrick Beja, who is from France and living in Japan, made the statement, "Why doesn't everyone in the world just use 911 as their emergency number?" It was not me, the United States citizen, saying that. It was that world citizen, Patrick Beja, saying that. But Carl from Windy Stockholm was one of the people to point out that here in Sweden, the emergency number is 112, which apparently is a worldwide standard that works on mobile phones. But in Sweden, 911 also works. They use both.
Okay. But yeah, I think a universal standard, will be great. Just like the metric system, because everybody uses that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We should.
No,
we should
I mean,
do
that's what's going to, everyone will use 112 eventually, except us. We'll still be on 911. And we'll be like, 911 is a joke in your country because you don't use it. Finally, I wanted to pass along from Gadget Chaser that the Washington, D.C. area meetup is happening this Saturday. If you're in the Delaware, Maryland, Virginia area, or the District of Columbia, head to O'Sullivan's Irish Pub and Restaurant in Clarendon, Arlington, Virginia, on Clarendon in Arlington, Virginia. That is Saturday, June 11th, 2016 at 1 p.m. until they all decide to leave. And we'll have all of that information in our show notes at dailytechnewsshow.com as well.
Are you going to be there?
No, that's a good point. I should point out that I am not going to be there. These are just other people who listen to DTNS. Gadget Chaser is putting it together just for folks to get together and hang out and talk about 911 and 112.
Exactly.
So thanks for doing that. I wish I could be there. That'd be awesome. Thank you, Lamarr Wilson. As always, what are you up to these days?
Today, I dropped the greatest video in the world. I unboxed the Chewbacca mask. If you remember the Facebook Chewbacca mom, I didn't try to go. I was talking to Tom about that. I didn't try to go over the top like she. I was very natural with it. Discovered my own problem with it, and it became hilarious unto itself. So you can check that out on my YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Lamarr Wilson. It's Lamarr with 2 R's. And yeah, I'm unboxing something different about every day this week. I think there'll be another Star Wars themed one tomorrow or Friday.
Cool. So go to youtube.com/Lamarr Wilson. Stay for the come for the Chewbacca mask, and then subscribe and stay for the future unboxings.
That's right.
You will not regret it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Hey, yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you, folks, for supporting this show. If you are willing to keep us going and you have $1 or more a month to spare, head to dailytechnewsshow.com/support. That is where you can make sure that we don't fade away. Patreon.com/DTNS also works as well. Big, huge, wonderful thanks to every single person that's supporting us. You guys are the best. It allows us to keep expanding and doing new things, trying new things, and just making sure that we do everything possible to bring you a good, independent, unadvertised, unsponsored news show. Stay tuned after the audio show for Tech and Travel with Chris Christensen about cameras on the road. If you support the Patreon at the $5 a month level or more, you can also find a segment in the treasure chest. Our email address is feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. You can give us a call, 512-59-DAILY. That's 593-2459. Catch the show live Monday through Friday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern at alphageekradio.com and diamondclub.tv. And visit our website at dailytechnewsshow.com. Back tomorrow with Justin Robert Young. Talk to you then.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Get more at frogpants.com.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
So Tom was sitting here bragging, about Patreon and how he doesn't do if you want ads, come to my channel because There are a lot. I mean, some people like ads, and now there's a lot of ads, a lot of sponsor stuff.
Look, dude, we have ads on Current Geek. We have ads on Sword and Laser.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if you want to feel that, like, I'm missing ads. I'm missing them.
Yeah.
Well, there's still somebody out there who does not do Patreon yet.
Don't be deprived.
Don't be like Tom.
That's funny.
Oh, Lord.
Good show, man.
Yeah, thank you very much.
What do we got for titles, Roger? Anything good? Roger? Can't hear you, Roger.
We can't hear you.
It's doing that thing again.
No, I always try to be real honest about ads. If you're doing the right way, the audience doesn't mind if you do it the right way.
No, absolutely not. And the reason I like not doing them on DTNS is it's news. And you always have to build such a firewall.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. Yeah. Between content and ads, and in a small operation like mine, it's hard to do that. But yeah, for Sword and Laser, that whatever, that's fine.
Yeah.
Tom, can you rear end me now?
That's
the top title.
I don't know that came out the way they meant it.
Whoa! Wow! What a comeback!
Really, there is no comeback. Shut up and drive.
It's a little hostile. Shut up and drive.
Magic leap of faith. Grumpy old tech news.
I like tech journalists yell at cloud too.
Tech journalists yell at cloud. Alien distortion field. May the AR force be with you. Stop driving on my lawn.
Get your aliens off my lawn. No, I'm sorry.
PSOD, purple screen of death. I love this. Driving is silver, silence is gold.
Aw. One's for young people, the other for old.
S'more marshmallow. Andreos. Because it's the Android.
Yeah,
right. I bet an Android person made that title.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Wonder Woman on your arm.
I mean, I vote for that one, obviously. But
of course.
I'm probably the one who typed it in there.
That said, you didn't.
I think something with the driving would be funny or good, catchy.
Let's see.
I am typing in the ID3 tags now.
Can you rear end me now? That's still the highest.
No, I'm not doing that.
Hey, I'm just saying you would get a whole new audience, Tom, if you consider. And that audience is used to paying subscriptions per month.
How about stop driving on my lawn? I like stop driving. Let's do that.
All right,
that's a safe crotchety pick.
Just saying.
What's a little bump between?
Oh, please stop.
You want to expand your business?
I'd be doing different kinds of videos if that's all I care about.
Stop driving on my lawn. Unless you're like mowing my lawn and you're driving a riding lawnmower. Then continue to drive on my lawn.
Please drive on my lawn with your riding lawnmower. It's a little long for the headline section though.
Hey, stop driving on my lawn.
Mm-hmm.
Stop driving my lawn.
No, they're driving my lawn thing is hilarious.
All right, done. It's exporting. Amazing.
So, Tom, not only will you have dogs in your car, you have scheduled a call to be in the car while the dogs are there who are going to be barking at anything that like resembles anything living.
No. Django's very quiet in the car. She just looks out the window. She'll be fine. The way it's supposed to go. Here's the way it's supposed. Lamarr, the way it's supposed to go. And it won't, but this is the way it's supposed to go. Is 3:45 for the vet appointment. It's 15 minutes away.
All right.
It takes no more than a half hour because it's just a check-in. We leave at 4:15. Takes 15 minutes to get home. Get home, pull in, make the call.
Okay.
Right?
I'll be watching from my satellite with the aliens.
I'll be jamming your GPS. So you can't find
checking. No, that should work.
No, the whole time I was doing finding all those studies and everything, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna be the headline of like, man who does podcast about phones and cars has horrible crash.
Exactly.
Like that cannot happen.
To drive really slow and deliberate.
Well, yeah, no, but I got to make it home in 15 minutes.
You know what? That'd be great if self-driving cars had a Sunday driving mode. So it's just a little bit safer and slower.
No. We already got Sunday driving mode. It's called 80-year-olds on the road on
Hey,
Sunday.
No, but like once we have driverless cars and all the 80-year-olds are just sitting there, they'll need to have their own setting so we know who they are.
It's like an early bird special, except for cars.
Well, as long as it's like early in the morning, like get them to Denny's at 5 in the morning. Get them there early.
Yeah,
they don't have
Denny's
brunch.
at 5 or 4 p.m. tops.
Exactly,
So
for
will
dinner.
it be illegal in the future to have a self-driving car with no one in it?
Well, that's one of the questions: is when will they be allowed to be empty? Because that's what Uber wants to do.
That's
is
what I
have
would
you
want to
hail
do.
a car and it just drives itself to you. Elon Musk has talked about how he believes his Tesla could drive across the country without a driver in it.
I pay a monthly fee for that, like a rental thing to.
And Apple would take 15% after the first year.
Exactly.
I mean, if you think about all the use case scenarios, I need to pick something up at the for example, I have a mailbox that I get all my packages at.
Right.
They can just meet the car outside, shove everything into the car, and it just drives back. I don't have to leave.
I would love that because I have to go to my UPS store today, and I hate going there.
Yeah, it's a pain.
Yeah.
I love my UPS store.
I love the people. I just don't like.
You just hate having to go there.
Yeah, it's the drive there. It's just.
Gotcha.
Like I can do that with my teeth. I can take my teeth out, put it in the seat, and I can drive to the dentist. The dentist could work on it and then send it back.
I don't know that would work the way you think it would.
It's pretty clever, huh?
It's
Roger, you're
almost too
old,
clever,
but I
Roger.
didn't think you were that old. Okay.
Man, did you guys ever have relatives that took their teeth out at night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My grandparents.
My grandparents did that. And they brushed their
Partials.
teeth with tooth powder.
No, it scared
And
the
they
hell out
told
of me the
me,
first time.
they're like, you should brush your teeth with tooth powder. It's just as good as toothpaste. And I'm like, yeah, but you guys don't have teeth. I'm not taking your advice.
It's not because of the tooth powder. It's just the lack of
we,
fluoride.
we don't know that. We don't.
I'm like, I don't know that you're the best testament for good.
You got to swish your mouth with apple cider vinegar every day. Like, yeah, I see what happened to you.
That's
Thanks.
the second time apple cider vinegar has come up. Veronica was mentioning it this week too.
Apple
Oh yeah,
cider. I hate
I'm a big proponent. It's disgusting, but I'm a big proponent of it.
I have it. I use it in meatloaf, actually.
Well, you cook?
Yeah.
Is that
I didn't know.
perfect?
I'm not being like funny. I didn't know you. I didn't know you made stuff like that.
Wait a minute. Is that part of your master sauces?
No, it just goes in the meatloaf to kind of give it a little acid reflux.
To break down
I've
the
actually seen that at the recipe. Wow.
No, it's I predict driverless cars will expand sprawl.
They'll expand sprawl? Oh, because you'll be able to live. You'll be like,
Wherever.
oh, it's not so. The traffic's not so bad. I can live a little farther away.
And I can sit there and play Clash Royale without worrying about. killing
And you can
myself.
get more work done on the commute because you're not actually having to drive.
Like, well, how about this? Podcasting, daily tech news on the road.
I don't
It's
think that-
all in the car.
Daily Tech Roadshow.
There you go.
That was one of
You
the
could
first
take time-
podcasts I ever subscribed to. It was a video podcast called Drive Time with this guy Ravi in Boston who would he put a camera on his dashboard and he would just talk to the
Are you
camera
serious?
while he was driving to work.
Huh. I bet back then that would be like extremely interesting.
Ravi
I
Jain.
mean, it's extremely interesting now.
He would pick up guests. He worked in the startup community in Boston. He would pick up guests who were people who were working on apps and talk to them in the car during his commute.
Okay, that is a really good idea. He was like the Robert Scoble of
I
driving.
wonder whatever happened to him because I loved his show. It was really good. He interviewed the guys from Dodgeball. Those are the folks that ended up making Foursquare.
Oh, that you meant the movie Dodgeball.
No, that would have been way too cool.
Like, wow. If you could dodge a hammer.
Basketball, maybe, but not dodge.
You could dodge a ball.
I like that movie.
I did too.
That was like the last movie I liked. What's his name? No, the big tall guy. That's the lead. Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn is the last movie I liked Vince Vaughn in.
Wow.
Then after that, he just did a bunch of stupid movies.
You know what I saw last night for the first time because it was on HBO Go? I've been waiting for it for weeks. The Martian. I had never seen it.
Oh, really?
And I was waiting for it to come out on digital, but then I saw HBO. You know, because I have HBO. I was like, wow, that was an amazing movie. Like I just truly enjoyed it. I had no complaints about it.
Do you ever do audiobooks?
Yes, as a matter of fact, if you go to audible.com/Lamarr, you can get a. You asked.
I'm like, wait a minute. Do I have any Audible codes right now? No. Okay, that's fine then.
You asked, and so
go get The Martian, and then you can use it in your ads to talk about how awesome it was because it's really well done.
So it's an audio. Wait, was this a book first?
Yeah, Andy Weir wrote the book, and then they turned it into a movie. And
okay. So who narrates the?
It's one of the good Audible narrators, but the name escapes me.
I wonder would I like that as well as the movie. Probably because with all the detail.
W's got us one. Put your Audible code in the chat.
Oh yeah. Oh, thank you. That's funny.
I expect a commission on all of these.
Exactly. No, I just did an Audible ad I think a week or two ago. I haven't done one in like a year, so it was kind of fun.
Oh, really?
To do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
There's a lot of YouTubers doing them right now. Some of them I've seen are so. I hate the word cringy. I really do, but some of them are just so like. Oh, come on.
They're not doing it right.
You're just doing this video just because of the Audible ad. Where I was going to do my video anyway. I did it on the Oculus Rift. Right. I was going to unbox the Oculus Rift anyway.
They unboxed their own phone running in the Audible app. You're like, wait, hold on.
Yeah. So everybody has to get paid their own way. I don't
Lots of different ways. Lots of ways to go around. That's when we went ad free, I had to do a lot of explaining to people like, no, I'm not against advertisements, but in this situation, it does a lot of good things. It takes pressure off me. It's one fewer thing. I don't have to track impressions. I can freely I can encourage people to spread the show around and share it because I don't care if I track anything. Like it does all kinds of good things for DTNS, but that doesn't mean that I don't still find advertising supported content perfectly legitimate in other situations. So just a different way of doing it.
Yeah. No, I really like that.
All right. Well, that is it for us. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Thank you again, Lamarr. We're going off the air. Well, we'll be back tomorrow, though.
Take care.